The crystalline chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with an otherworldly resonance as Lisa stood in the center of the judgment circle, her hands bound by energy shackles that pulsed with a sickly violet light. Around her, representatives from 47 different species observed from their floating platforms, their alien forms creating a kaleidoscope of colors and shapes that would have been beautiful under different circumstances. At the highest platform sat Judge Zolther, a being of pure energy contained within a biomechanical suit, his 12 eyes glowing with the authority of 10,000 years of galactic lore. His voice boomed through the chamber, translated instantaneously into every known language by the neural implants each council member wore. The human designated as Lisa Rodriguez stands accused of the murder of Ambassador Kretzel of the Vortian Empire, Zolther announced, his tone dripping with contempt. A crime so heinous that it threatens the very fabric of our peaceful coalition. The evidence is irrefutable. The sentence is death. Lisa's green eyes blazed with defiance as she lifted her chin. Her dark hair, matted with sweat and blood from her capture, fell across her face, but she made no move to brush it aside. I acted in self-defense, she said, her voice steady despite the circumstances. Your precious ambassador tried to silence. Zolther's appendages crackled with energy. Humans are not permitted to speak in their own defense. Your species is too primitive, too violent, too unpredictable to understand the nuances of civilized discourse. The council has spoken. Executioner Vin Diesel, step forward. From the shadows of the chamber emerged a figure that made even the battle-hardened species of the council shift uncomfortably. Vin Diesel was a legend among mercenaries, a human who had rejected Earth decades ago to become the council's most feared enforcer. His muscular frame moved with predatory grace, his bald head reflecting the chamber's ethereal light, and his eyes cold, calculating, emotionless, locked onto Lisa. He had executed 17 beings in his career. All of them had deserved it, according to council law. All of them had been guilty. Complete the sentence, Zolther commanded. Let this be a lesson to all humans who dare to bring their barbaric nature into our enlightened space. Vin Diesel approached Lisa slowly, a plasma blade materializing in his right hand. The weapon hummed with lethal energy, capable of severing molecular bonds with surgical precision. He had used it countless times before. His face betrayed no emotion as he studied the young woman before him. Lisa didn't flinch. Instead, she looked directly into Vin Diesel's eyes and said something that only he could hear, her lips barely moving. They're lying. Check the data logs. Kretzel was trafficking children from 12 different species. I found the evidence. That's why they want me dead. For the briefest moment, something flickered in Vin Diesel's expression. A memory, perhaps, of why he had left Earth, of the corruption he had witnessed, of the promises the council had made about justice and peace. Executioner, you have your orders, Zolther repeated, irritation creeping into his voice. Vin Diesel raised the plasma blade. The council members leaned forward in anticipation. Lisa closed her eyes, not in fear, but in acceptance. The blade moved faster than thought itself, but it didn't strike. Lisa in a movement so swift that even the enhanced perceptions of the council members could barely track it. Vin Diesel spun on his heel and hurled the plasma blade directly at Judge Zolther's platform. The weapon cut through the protective shields as if they were paper, piercing the biomechanical suit and dispersing Zolther's energy form across the chamber in a cascade of dying light. Chaos erupted. Alarms blared. Security drones descended from the ceiling like a metallic storm. With his free hand, Vin Diesel shattered Lisa's energy shackles with a device he had concealed in his palm. Run, he growled, his voice gravelly and urgent. I've uploaded the evidence to every news outlet in the galaxy. Kretzel's trafficking ring goes all the way to the council's inner circle. They'll try to kill us both now. Lisa stared at him in shock. Why did you help me? You're their executioner. Vin Diesel pulled a second plasma blade from his belt and ignited it as the first wave of security drones approached. But I didn't leave Earth to become the weapon of slavers and murderers. I came here looking for something better. He glanced at her with the ghost of a smile. Maybe I just found it. The drones opened fire. Vin Diesel moved like liquid death, his blades cutting through metal and energy with equal ease. Lisa grabbed a fallen guard's weapon and joined the fight. Her movements raw but effective. She had survived 3 years on the brutal mining colonies of Tartarus 7. She knew how to fight dirty. Together, they carved a path through the chamber toward the emergency shuttle bay. Behind them, the council erupted into accusations and counter-accusations as the evidence Vin Diesel had released began circulating through their networks. The corruption ran deeper than even he had suspected as they reached the shuttle and blasted their way into the void, leaving the council station's defenses scrambling behind them. Lisa looked at her unlikely savior. What now? Vin Diesel plotted coordinates into the navigation system, his jaw set with determination. Now we finish what you started. We expose them all. We burned their empire of lies to the ground. They'll send armies after us. Let them come. His eyes met hers, and for the first time in years, they held something more than cold professionalism. They held purpose. Humans aren't as primitive as they think. We're survivors, and together we're going to teach the galaxy what happens when they underestimate us. The shuttle jumped to hyperspace, leaving a trail of quantum disruption in its wake. Behind them, the Galactic Council scrambled to contain a scandal that would reshape the political landscape of 100 worlds, and somewhere in the darkness between stars, 2 humans prepared for war.